Next guest is the newest third Tuesday of the month guest, creator of GrillGirl.com. We race to the hotline and welcome back Robyn Lindars to the show. Robyn, how are you?
Hey, Greg.
Put on your camera. What are you doing?
I haven't. I thought I had it on. Hold on.
Come on. You know you don't.
All right, let's see.
Let's see. Here we go. There we are. Ooh, look at you, all sophisticated with the glasses and everything, huh?
This is just my smart look I'm going for.
I didn't know you wore glasses.
These are my computer glasses. It's just that, like, hot teacher look I'm going for.
Are they your cheaters? Cheaters? Is that what they call them? Are those cheaters or are they real glasses?
I don't know. I mean, I have a very slight stigmatism or whatever, so I wear them sometimes just because when I'm typing up recipes and stuff.
So visit Robyn's website if you're doodling around, grillgirl.com. You can follow her on Instagrams at grillgirlrobyn. See what she's up to.
Robyn.
That's right.
Yep, with a Y.
Right, Robyn. So don't make that mistake. But Google her. Do you have the blue check mark?
I think I do on some networks and others I don't. Do you?
No, I don't. I tried to get a blue check mark for Instagram, and they were like, no, you don't get it. And they don't.
Well, you know what?
They don't tell you why. They just deny you.
They're finicky over there, so whatever.
Finicky. All right, so last month in your first recurring role, you were talking about, amongst other things, that you and your dad, Eddie, were heading down to the shed. You were going to be taking part in this Steak Cook-Off Association event, and you were really pretty pumped up about it.
Oh my God, so much fun. And I have to say, we also competed with Jeff Romero, and the last episode I was on, I totally butchered his last name because I was exhausted and I had like brain fart mom brain. So I'm sorry about that, Jeff. And Brad and everybody at the shed totally gave him so much SHIT about it.
Really?
Yeah, they did. Because I was like, I just had a major brain fart. So I'm
what
sorry
did you
about
call
that,
him?
Jeff.
Did you call him like Jeff
I said
Toothman or something?
Salerno or something. I think I'd been on like Nick Solaris's feed on Instagram, and I had his like last name in my brain.
Yeah.
And I just like, you know, you have those like parent moments where you're like, I want to talk about this, but then you're like your brain just doesn't work because you're exhausted. And that's what I was having that night.
All right, Robyn, I'm going to tell you right now, as a parent of 3 daughters ranging in age from 17 to 13, almost 18, and almost a freshly 14, by the way. Go to joebees.com, JOEBEES. They're not a sponsor of the show. They have no affiliation with me. For the last 7 years, I've been taking their products, a bee pollen supplement. I don't know how else to say it. And he's like a Florida guy, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Really? I love my Florida peeps.
I've taken it for 7 years. My mind is sharp. My will is fantastic. And my health, my, immune system is so...
How's your stamina, Greg?
Is so screw stamina. My immunity is so robust that while all of the other 4 women in my house are coming down with all types of sicknesses at any moment, I haven't even had a cold in 7 years.
Really?
I'm not kidding.
My grandma always took bee pollen, and she's like 90, and she's still taking. So maybe there's something to it.
I'm telling you, there is something to it. And again, no affiliation, so don't take it and be sick, and I'll just make fun of you for the rest of the time. Anyway, let's get back on track. So you were heading down to the steak cook-off. One of the things that you had mentioned was that you were going to be ultra simple on rub. Maybe like not a lot of rub at all. And I was like, whoa, that's way off base. That's not what people are doing. I know what I'm doing, Mr. Reppy. You shut up and you host your show, but I'm the one competing. So give us a breakdown of how it actually shook out.
Well, Greg, if you know me and if you followed all my stuff over the years, you know that whatever I say I'm not going to do, it always comes back and bites me in the ass. And that's how I ended up with a Chihuahua and a cat and using a pellet smoker and now sous videing, because they always said I would never sous vide. And that's why I was almost going to be late tonight, because I just cooked an excellent sous vide steak that I actually even saved a piece. Look at this.
Hold it up.
Is this crazy shizzle, you guys, or what?
Wow, good color.
My camera, but look, a perfect medium rare. I mean, I saved this for you. I was like really And my husband, he got it for me, but he really got it for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been like, he was like, let's use it. And anyway, so whatever. So the point is that whatever I say I'm not going to do, I always do. And I said I was going to keep it simple with the rub,
Yep.
and we didn't, because what happened was, Dad and I stayed with Mama and Papa Shed while we were there,
Mm.
and Papa Shed has been schooled by Johnny Joseph, and so Papa Shed, Daddy-O, or Craig,
Whatever you call them.
Orson, and you gotta love them too. Like the whole Shed family is awesome, and that's why this competition was so much fun, because the Shed doesn't do anything half-assed, and Brad is freaking hilarious, and like the whole thing was just so fun, right? So we stay with Mama and Papa Shed, and Daddy-O gave us a schooling, and so he learned from Johnny Joseph, and he whipped out this rub that was like Saison, like what we have down here in Miami where I'm from. But I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? We're using Saison. Like, I'm in Mississippi, not Miami. And the point is that you need something to compete with that has MSG in it to place.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, SHIT, because that goes against what I'm all about. But when you're cooking and competing, you only have that one bite, and that
Right.
one bite needs to stand out, and that's
Right.
what you got to do.
Okay.
So we changed it around, and we did really awful on their first cook, because so here's how they did it at the Shed. They did 2 rounds of steak, and it was really cool how they did it, because then the winners of that then competed against each other in a live cook-off during the award ceremony,
Oh.
which was like, it was like Chopped meets an award ceremony. It was really fun. And our second one, we did 33 out of like 90, which is in the top third, so I'll take it.
Right.
So we changed our strategy. So unfortunately, even though you don't want to, you want to be a purist, I think the stuff that's placing is stuff that would with
who wants to be a
MSG.
purist? Who wants to be a purist? You want to be a purist. Nobody else
I
wants to
wanted
be a purist.
purist.
All right, so go ahead and apologize and say I was right.
You were totally right, and like I said, and actually, I have a blog post from 2015 that was, and I made these like goals. And it was like hashtag try new things, and oh no, and it was hashtag never say never. So, like I said, whatever I say, I will never do, always comes back to bite me the ass, and that was it. So you have to use a rub, or you have to have something with MSG in it, is what I learned.
Because we are on the worldwide internet, there is no reason for you to spell out shit. You can just say it. Nobody's going to get fined, unless it's a mom thing that you're working on, so you don't swear in front of your kids.
You know that I curse like a sailor, but I always feel like the potty mouth on your show, so I'm trying to be better.
Nobody can be worse than Sam the cooking guy. That guy's dropping F-bombs like hot potatoes. So, a couple shits here and there, no big deal. Now, so next steak cook-off, you're definitely sticking to the rub guns, and it's MSG, and it's one-bite flavor, over-the-top type stuff to stand out.
Yeah, and I have to say, Jeff on our team, after we did that one, he's done 2 others in Katy, Texas, and Jeff Romero from Holy Roller Smokers. He's awesome, and he's like my Texan brother, but he just won 3rd in Katy, Texas, so it's working. So
let's quickly hit this item, because I want to make sure we spend time on the Bloody Mary ancillary.
Yes.
Setup-wise there at the Shed, was there a lot of PK grills, grill grates, and B&B charcoal, or is that stereotype a little overblown?
Well, all stereotypes exist because there's some truth behind it, right?
Sure,
and there is some truth behind that. You see a lot of PK grills, you see a lot of grill grates, and you see B&B charcoal. They're a player, and they have good product, but especially you see a lot of PK grills. You don't need to compete on a PK grill to win, and you don't have to use grill grates, though I think it helps. I think the point is that you have to get your temperature down, and you need to use a grill that's going to get you there, and you have to look for consistency when you're cooking, and you really just have to get your temperatures down. So that's what it's all about, is being able to master that without having a lot of distractions. I think the reason that we didn't do so well in our first steak that we did was because there were a lot of distractions. We had some like photographers from the Food Network there, and just like that's distracting. You guys saw me get chopped on the first round of chopped because I couldn't focus, and then I had the oyster situation where I cooked with oysters I wasn't familiar with. I'm an East Coast girl. I had some West Coast oysters. They weren't what I was used to. But anyway, the point is that you got to be so focused, and that's I think when Johnny Joseph teaches his class, it's probably about like focus and timing and the right combination of seasonings and rubs, so you get the perfect mouth feel and the right finished product. Because the guy that actually won the steak cook-off was a guy that was Robert Edwards, Robert Edwin. I can't remember. I'm having mob brain. It's just I can't remember. But Robert, the guy who won the cook-off, was a graduate of Johnny Joseph's class.
Does he attribute his success specifically to that?
I don't know, but evidently they have a process that they have gotten down, and it's working well. It's worked well for him. Though Johnny Joseph didn't place in that competition, but I think a lot of it is just getting your times and your temperature and your consistency.
Okay, we can talk on and on about that, and I'm probably going to end up blowing out my segment here, but I want to make sure that we're spending the right amount of time. Quick question, just answer very quickly on this. From a Grill Greats perspective, okay, now it's two quick questions. How many non-Grill Mark steaks did you see turned in? Less than 10%? Any?
Yeah, less than 10%. Yep. I had some newbies next to me that were friends of at our next to our tent that were like friends of Fred Salinas, who's the guy that does a lot of photography for the shed. And I loved them because they owned a food truck, and they came out and they borrowed like a Weber Smoky Mountain or something, and then they finished in cast iron. And he was a chef, and I loved it, but they didn't have grill marks. And though they say that it's not just about appearance, you have to know that that's something that plays into it.
That was my next question was, do you feel like if you didn't put grill marks on, your chances of winning would have been decreased unfairly?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now, there's an ancillary category, Bloody Marys. By the way, if you're keeping score, my girl Robyn right here, 3rd overall in Bloody Marys. So congratulations. That's huge. Out of how many entries?
45.
Wow. So that's huge. I mean, over half the field turned in Bloody Marys too, then.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I'm conflicted. I have to be honest. And we're going to go to the pictures here for this one specifically.
Okay. Let's do it.
Bloody Marys, it's a drink, Robyn.
It's
got this, Bloody Mary mix. If you're feeling a little froggy, my dad would drop some horseradish in this, maybe an olive here, maybe a celery stalk there. But it's a drink served in a glass, and there's not a lot of shit that you have to remove in order to drink it. However, what I saw at the Shed event is exactly what I have been railing against for at least 24 months, which is it appears cursorily from my purview that you have to have heavy equipment in order to assemble shit that goes all over this drink.
Yeah.
And somehow that makes you a winner, but it's a drink. So first questions first. Do they even bother drinking the drink to judge how well it tastes?
Yes. And so let's just back up a second. So based on the research I know, not all state competitions request, or this is not an ancillary that happens at all the state competitions. Right. I'm sure that this is, and I do feel that this was fitting because it's the Shed. And if you look on a map where the Shed is located, they are located in like almost like smack dab between Biloxi and New Orleans, which are two of like the drinking capitals of the world based on my knowledge of that stuff. And I know these things because we know that I'm a party girl and I'm from the South, even though I don't sound like it, and I enjoy a good cocktail. Having said that, I do think there's a lot of pomp and circumstance going on with the entry because I don't feel like you have a level playing field on the taste when you enter like a small raw bar with your entry. And that's what, like, I thought I was being so smart and clever when I came in with that crab and the shrimp and the whatever.
I'm showing
and
it
I
right
got
now.
there and I was like, oh shit, I'm like in the big leagues here. And then like literally when I made the joke about the raw bar, it wasn't really a joke because there were people there. I didn't get a picture of this one, but there was someone that had like a basically a shelf propped up on their drink that hosted a sampling of like raw oysters and whatnot.
So here's your drink right
So-
here that I have on the screen right now. So you have, a lemon. So the glass is nice. It's rimmed with something. The drink looks, pretty appetizing. And then there appears to be, is that a soft shell crab on that drink?
It's a soft shell blue crab that was actually I snagged because the shed hosted a low country, well, I call them low country boil because I'm from I'm more from that area. But yeah, just like a seafood boil, a crawfish boil, and and I did mine with first of all, I think the reason mine won was I really paid a lot of it, or I didn't win, I got third.
Yeah.
Was that I paid attention to the mix was what I was really like, that's what I'd been working on. And then the garnishes for me was like, I got to get this together, but I was really focused on the taste. But and that was shrimp. That's actually
Is that a jalapeno on top of the shrimp?
Yeah, pickled okra, an heirloom tomato, and I think if you look at the score that I didn't perform as well as others because of my appearance, it wasn't as over the top as others.
Yeah. So here's a guy who has, I mean, you can see most of the glass. It looks like he might have a crab claw hanging out. He's got a bunch of olives. I would say this is probably on par with your style of garnish that you had on yours. I mean, it's a little crazy. Maybe yours was a little crazy because you had the whole.
That guy's so cool, by the way. He competes.
I don't care. I don't care about him. Who cares about
anyway,
him?
Okay.
So,
but it's like an egg roll, I think is what it was.
So here we go. Now we have a whole crab, but all of his appendages are on this top of this glass, and you have perhaps more okra, olives. Now we're starting to get a little ridiculous. Now we have this guy.
This guy's the one that actually won, and I asked him if he would keep up with me because I wanted to put he wanted to at least give him some cred on my website, but he never followed up, and but yeah, he's got a slider.
Yeah, it appears to be multiple sliders.
Yeah.
So you're gonna take off burgers
and bacon
to get to stalks.
and pork belly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see that pork belly. Yeah. So I mean, you have a whole bunch of food on top that you're gonna eat, I guess, and then you're also gonna drink this drink. Then you have this incredible monstrosity. I don't even see a glass. It's all sitting on top of the glass. Now here is the one that takes the cake. Rob, this is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if you remember seeing this or not.
Yes.
What the hell is going on here?
That's like...
She's holding it with two hands and a small track hoe so she doesn't fall down.
She had to put her drink in that vase that she's holding so it wouldn't flip over, and she called this the meat bouquet.
Yeah, look at it. I mean, it's like an antipasta salad. My Italian family is racing over.
I'm not a fan of fruit mixed with charcuterie. That's just me.
Yeah.
I like to keep unless it's like a jam that you might put like on a cracker, but that's goat cheese in the the skewer.
Yeah, I figured it was some kind of. Well, I figured it would have been a mozzarella because there is a lot of antipasto type stuff going on there. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, it's going to take you an hour to deconstruct that, and then you have all of this food. Do they have to eat it?
No. So when you turn it in, you have.
So they're not being judged on this at all. This is only presentation score.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
And I mean, I
Come
know,
on.
and you know those judges had to be so totally shit faced by the end. Like, how many Bloody
Well,
Marys can you
no.
only take a sip of
You spit it
and
out.
not be hammered?
You
I
spit it out.
would you spit it out? I
Robyn,
would not spit
you're
it
a
out. That
raging
sounds like
alcoholic. Of course you wouldn't
I'm
spit it out. Give
not.
me a break.
But it just seems like I don't. Well, I guess you're right. I guess you would spit it out.
Yes, that's like you go to a wine tasting and you have 54 wines to taste. You swish it around, you spit it out.
You're right. You
Right,
would.
of
I guess I
course.
didn't equate the way you would do wine tasting to
No,
Bloody Mary tasting.
I would say, Robyn, you're probably not too far off the track here saying that in a particular barbecue event or a steak event, the judges might be taking in better than 75% of their sips. So
I don't know. They look like a bunch of old farts, but that's South Mississippi. You're really close to New Orleans. It's like they can handle their Bloody Marys.
yeah,
You know
so
what I'm
maybe they
saying?
weren't spitting anything out. Maybe they were taking it all in. Probably a pretty good chance.
Maybe I'll judge it next year.
Yeah.
As someone that's placed, I would be good as a Bloody
Right.
Mary judge.
Right. You've finished high enough to go into the judging pool and tell everybody else's their drinks taste like crap.
Well, no, you just need to,
Or
go in with a good recipe.
And you don't have
And if you
to.
want to know what I won with, I actually put it on my website. So
Yeah.
I have leveled the playing field. I mean, the thing is, I think if you do most competitions, they're not going to have 45 people. Like most local, like this was a big deal. It was hosted at the Shed, but most are probably not going to have as much competition, which is going to help you progress higher and get a ticket to the World Food Championships.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I would hope that if you go into the judge's tent, Robyn, that you are not going to fall victim to giving high scores to all this craziness that's on top, that you will really be giving all of your points for quality of drink, because in the end, it is a drink.
It is a drink, and it needs to taste good. It needs to be something that you would want to present and serve other people. And, which is why actually I saw Leslie Roark from New Bonds in line, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to lose because Leslie's here and they have the best Bloody Mary mix ever.
Right.
But I'm sure she might have gotten judged against her because her presentation was good, but it wasn't over the top,
Well, it's all very interesting, and it does lead in. It just supports my weirdness. If you YouTube crazy Bloody Marys, there was some restaurant in like Phoenix. I mean, you should have seen this thing, Robyn. It was absolutely. It puts the antipasta Bloody Mary to shame, if you can believe it.
Yeah.
And that was over the top. I'll have to find the link and send it to you so you can check it out. But these things have grown into an incredible array of everything that isn't the drink, unfortunately. So, look, we're way over time here. You go visit Robyn at her website, grillgirl.com. Robyn is Robyn, and you can find her on Instagram, which she's very active on, at Grill Girl Robyn, again with a Y. And in the meantime, every third Tuesday following Stephen Reichland, you see her right here on the Barbecue Central show. So, Robyn, appreciate you recapping the steak event and the Bloody Mary, and we'll see you again next month.
And Greg, I do just want to say you guys should follow me at Grill Girl Robyn on Instagram. And I just got a paddleboard, and I expect to be having a lot more bikini shots because I'm working on having more fun out on the water.
What's a paddleboard?
A paddleboard.
Like a paddleboard?
No, like you paddle places, like
on the water. That's right.
Yeah.
Look, a guy in Cleveland.
I'm not
I don't.
Anyone.
Okay.
I don't even know. Your mind is so dirty. There's no spanking going on here, Greg.
No, there's nothing like that. I don't associate water sports in Cleveland. So forgive me if we're not very tropical here yet. Give me 3 or 4 months to get past winter, and then I can start thinking water sports on the lake. Right?
I won't be paddling you anytime soon.
Right. Great. Good news. But hurry up with the bikini shots because all the pervs are now salivating and my inbox is getting flooded. So, all right, Robyn, we'll see you in March. There she is. Promising the promise of bikini pics.